In this session, we discuss a priori algorithm. Before starting this, let me brief about association rule mining. It's a data mining technique that is used to find interesting associations or patterns in data. It is mainly used in market basket analysis to understand the customer buying habits. If we could analyze that information, we will get to know the customer interests, which helps the retailers in improving the customer service and also several factors. Association rule will be of the form like this with support and confidence measures. It has two parts, an antecedent and a consequent. An antecedent is something that is found in data, and a consequent is an item that is found in combination with the antecedent in the data. These are the examples of association rules. Look at the first one. This is a rule saying that the customer who buys computer also tend to purchase financial management software. The second rule says people who have an age group between 30 and 39 and the income ranging from 42 to 48K are likely to purchase a car. The third rule says if tea and milk, then sugar. If tea and milk are purchased together, then sugar is likely to be purchased. This percentage values in the braces or support and confidence, which determines how strong a rule is that we will discuss later. Let us see another example. This is a transactional database in which each transaction containing the list of items purchased by customers. In the first transaction, the customer has purchased bread, coke, milk. In the second transaction, beer and bread. Like this, we have 5 transactions. This is how the data set will be. This is the input for an association rule problem, and this kind of rules need to be discovered by applying association rule mining algorithms. If we have such rules, it could be easy for a retailer or a business to target their customers better. The main goal of association rule mining is to find the rules that are useful for business, but how much effective is a rule is dependent on the measures such as support and confidence. Support represents the popularity of the product in the given set of transactions. It is calculated as the ratio of number of transactions includes that product, that is occurrence of the product, and total number of transactions. So if you want to find the support of item sets, we have to apply this formula. Suppose this is a given data set and we need to calculate support of A, support of AB, BC and ABC. So support of A is, we need to check how many times A has appeared in these 5 transactions. So A is there in transaction 1, transaction 2 and transaction 4. That would be the occurrence. So it is occurrence is 3 and the total number of transactions are 5. That is 3 by 5. Support of AB. AB is there 2 times in these 5 transactions. So it is 2 by 5. Support of BC. BC is in transaction 3, transaction 1 and transaction 5. So occurrence is 3 by 5. Support of ABC. ABC is there only in transaction 1. So it is 1 by 5, which is 20%. Support count is, it is represented by sigma. It is the frequency of occurrence of an item within the transactions. Support count of AB, for example, support count of AB is how many times this AB combination appeared in these 5 transactions. So it is there for 2 times. Support count of AB is 2. Confidence is, suppose if you are given a rule like this, X tends to Y, confidence denotes the percentage of transactions containing Y also contains X, or it can be defined as a conditional probability of occurrence of consequent given the antecedent. If antecedent is given, probability of occurrence of consequent, that is confidence. And the formula is confidence equal to confidence occurrence of xy by occurrence of x, that is support of xy by support of x. So for this transactional database, let us calculate the confidence values. Confidence of this rule A tends to B. So it is confidence of A tends to B is support of AB by support of A. What is support of AB? Support of AB is 2, right? By support of A. Support of A is 3. So it is 2 by 3. Confidence of B tends to C is support of BC by support of B. Support of BC is what? Support of BC is 3 by support of B. Support of B is 4. So it is 3 by 4, which is 75%. Support confidence of AB tends to C. That is support of ABC by support of AB. Support of ABC is only transaction 1 is having ABC. So it is 1 by support of AB. AB is 2, right? So it is 50%. Like this, support and confidence will be calculated. And one more performance measure, lift. Lift can be used to compare confidence with expected confidence, or we can simply say lift denotes increase in sale of X when you sell Y. Okay, a lift of X tends to Y is confidence of XY by support of Y. Look at this example. Lift of this rule. You may get a value equal to 1, greater than 1 and less than 1. If it is equal to 1, there is no correlation. If it is greater than 1, then products in the item set A and B are more likely to be bought together. If it is less than 1, products in item set A and B are unlikely to be bought together. So if it is greater than 1, there is a positive correlation. We can have that combination, right? Another example for calculating the support and confidence. If you are given this transactional data set and a rule is given. Now to calculate the support for this rule, first we need to calculate the support count of milk diaper beer by total number of transactions. What is the support count of milk diaper beer? How many times, in how many transactions that combination is there, that we have to check. So in transaction 4, milk diaper beer is there, and in transaction 3, milk diaper beer is there. So it is 2 by total number of transactions 5. Right. To calculate this confidence for this rule, what we have to do? Support of milk diaper beer by support count of milk diaper beer by support count of milk diaper. So it is 2 by 3. Milk diaper beer is 2, right? 2 times in transaction 3 and transaction 4. This combination is there, right? And milk diaper is 3. Support count of milk diaper is 3. So it is, the confidence of this rule is 0.67. Now, association rule mining can be viewed as a two-step approach. The first step is frequent item set generation, and the second step is generating the association rules. When you are generating these association rules, we have to consider these two conditions. Given a set of transactions T, the goal of association rule mining is to find all the rules having support value of greater than or equal to minimum support threshold and confidence value of greater than or equal to minimum confidence threshold. This threshold will be given in the problem itself. This is the terminology used in association rule mining algorithms. For frequent item set generation, we can go for either a priori algorithm or FP growth algorithm. We will see a priori algorithm now. So before going to describe this a priori algorithm, these are the few commonly used terms that must be defined. Item set is a set of items. For example, milk, bread, diaper. K item set represents K number of items. It's an item set that contains K number of items. Frequent item set is an item set whose support is greater than or equal to minimum support threshold. We will see it with an example. Candidate set. This is a name given to a set of items that require testing to see if they fit a certain requirement or not. Generally, we use these candidate sets for generating frequent item sets. So for this a priori algorithm, you need to remember this a priori property. All non-empty subsets of a frequent item set must also be frequent. That means, suppose we have a transaction containing grapes, apple, mango, also contains grapes, mango, right? If a transaction is containing grapes, apple, mango, we can say that the transaction is containing grapes, mango also, right? So according to the principle of a priori, if grapes, apple, mango is a frequent item set, then grapes, mango must also be frequent. Understand? So see another example. If you take beer, diaper, nuts, if a transaction is having beer, diaper, nuts, we can say that transaction is containing beer, diaper, right? So if this beer, diaper, nuts, this combination is frequent, then we can say that beer, diaper is also frequent. Understand? Let us see the steps for frequent item set generation in a priori algorithm. This algorithm uses two steps, join step and prune step. You need to remember three things here. LK represents frequent item set, CK represents candidate set, where K represents the number of items in the frequent item set or candidate item set. Generally, these two steps will be used in candidate set generation. Let us see an example of generating this candidate set. We have taken a frequent 3 item set in which we have some frequent item sets, and this will be useful for generating C4. As I told, to get CK, we need to do self join of LK minus 1 with LK minus 1. So C4 is L3 join L3. It's a self join. If you do ABC join ABD, you will get ABCD. And if it is ACD join ACE, ACDE. Right. Like that, you have to write all possible combinations. You need to join ABC with ABD, ABC, ACD, ABC join ACE, ABC join BCD. Like the same way, take ABD, join with ACD, join with ACE and BCD. So for every item set, do the join operation, and you will get all possible combinations. Now coming to this pruning operation, uh, for every item set you have to check this. According to a priori property, all non-empty sets of a frequent item set must also be frequent. What I told, this is a frequent item set. All non-empty subsets of a frequent item set must also be frequent, right? So what are the subsets of this item set? It is ACD, CDE, ADE, right? So you have to check whether that subset is there in this L3 or not. If it is not there, we cannot take this ACDE in this candidate set C4. Understand? So see here, ACDE, ADE is a subset of this which is not there in this L3. Right, and CDE is also not there in this L3. So we have to remove this. Now we'll see this a priori algorithm with an example. Suppose you are given a transactional database with 9 transactions. In each transaction, the customer has purchased some items. In the first transaction, T100 is the transaction ID. In the first transaction, he has purchased I1, I2, I3. Second transaction, T200, I2, I4, like that. 9 transactions we have. This is how the problem will be given, and the question will be asked like, find the frequent item sets with minimum support count value of 2. So here minimum support count value will also be given. It is given as 2. This is the minimum support threshold. Now Let us see the steps in finding frequent item sets. This is a transactional database, and a priori algorithm involves sequence of steps to be followed to find the most frequent item set in the given database. This data mining technique follows the join and prune steps iteratively until the most frequent item set is achieved. You have to remember this point. First, we need to generate candidate sets in order to find the frequent item sets. Again, frequent item sets will be taken. Again, candidate set will be generated. Again, from the candidate set, frequent item set will be generated. Like that, the process will continue until the candidate set is empty. If the candidate set is empty, the previous frequent item set will be taken as frequent item sets. Understand? The first step of this is to generate a C1. We'll see how to generate C1. So for C1, we have to consider all items in the transaction. That means we have 5 items in this: I1, I2, I3, I4, I5. 5 items we have. So each item in the transaction will be a member of the C1. Now we have to write the support count of each item. Scan the database to count the number of occurrences of each item. Take I1, check for number of times that particular item is available in these 9 transactions. So it is 6. Like that, write for all the items. Now we need to generate a frequent item set from this, which is represented as L1. So this L1 will be determined by removing the item sets with a value less than the minimum support count value. See here, we have to take this support count value. If any of the support count value is less than the minimum support count value, then that particular item will not be considered in this frequent item set. So if you observe C1, all the support count values are greater than or equal to 2. So all items will be considered in this L1. Coming to the next step. So C1 we have, L1 we have. Next we have to generate C2. How will you generate C2? So for C2 generation, we have to do L1 join L1, right? We have to generate this C2. So for C2 generation, we have to do L1 join L1. So we will get all possible combinations like this. Now we have to check for the a priori property. According to a priori property, what is a priori property? All non-empty subsets of a frequent item set must also be frequent. So if you see here, I1, I2, if you take, we have to write the subsets now. I1 is one subset, I2 is one subset, right? So we have to check whether I1 alone and I2 alone is there in this L1 or not. Yes, those two are there. So this item set is allowed. Like that, we have to check for all these item sets. Now what we have to do? We need to generate F2. Okay, so to generate F2, we have to remove the item sets whose support count value is less than 2, right? Here we have I1, I4 whose value is less than 2. We have I3, I4, I3, I5 and I4, I5. So these 4 item sets have to be removed. So that will be your F2. So compare candidate support count, every candidate support count with minimum support count value. If it is violating, remove those particular item sets, that is L2. Now the same process is continued for C3 and L3. So see here, C3 is L2 join L2. You will get all these possible combinations. So of this, take every item set, check for the subsets, whether they are members of L2 or not. If they are not the members of L2, we have to eliminate them, right? So if you see here, I1, I3, I5. So the subsets are I1, I3, I1, I5, I3, I5. So we have three subsets, but I3, I5 is not in L2. If you see here, I3, I5 is not there. So we need to eliminate this I1, I3, I5 item set. And the same way for I2, I3, I4, this is also eliminated. And this one is also eliminated. Finally, we will get only two item sets under this C3. Write the support count value. And so for these two item sets, support count value is equal to 2. So we have to consider these two under this L3. This is the whole process what we have seen. Now, if you want to generate C4, you will get an empty set. So here it will be stopped. So if C4 is empty, we have to take L3 as a frequent item set. Now, for generating association rules, we have to consider these two rules. For every frequent item set X, generate all non-empty subsets of X, and for every non-empty subset S of X, output the rule S determines X minus S if confidence is greater than or equal to minimum confidence threshold. Okay, we'll see with an example. So from this, we identified two frequent item sets, right? Which is I1, I2, I5. Now, what are all the possible association rules that can be generated from X? Right. So for that, what is the rule? For every frequent item set X, generate all non-empty subsets of X. Okay. So this is a frequent item set. First, generate all non-empty subsets of X. They are I1, I2, I1, I5, I2, I5, I1, I2, I5, right? Now, check for the second rule. What is the second rule? For every non-empty subset S of X, output the rule S tends to X minus S. If confidence is greater than, this formula is confidence. Confidence is greater than or equal to minimum confidence, right? So see here, this is X, right? S tends to X minus S. Output the rule S tends to X minus S. So the subset is S and this is X. Okay, S tends to take one subset I1, I2, which is S, tends to X minus S. X is I1, I2, I5 minus S. S is I1, I2. So if you do this, you will get the rule I1, I2 tends to I5 because I1, I2 is repeated here and here. So we are going to cancel these two. Finally, we'll get the rule I1, I2 tends to I5. Like this, generate all possible rules. Take every subset, generate this rule. After that, take this confidence value. Calculate this confidence value. It should be greater than or equal to the threshold value. If you observe here, you can find three rules with confidence above 70%. I1, I5 tends to I2, I2, I5 tends to I1, I5 tends to I1, I2. These three will be considered as a strong association rules. This is how the frequent item sets and association rules will be generated using a priori algorithm. Thank you.